Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of In Between Rounds. So, today I am here to talk all about shoulder pain. Um, Truly, the most common physical complaint uh, is shoulder pain. And about 50 to even 65% of the time, the pain is caused by a shoulder impingement. And I'm not sure if this term is brand new to you, but basically, you might be wondering, what is shoulder impingement? Well, um, basically, if you were to raise your arm up, the space between your acromion and your rotator cuff. So your acromion is the top outer part of your shoulder blade that comes up right here, and it does meet up with your clavicle. So the space between that acromion and your rotator cuff will narrow, and often, there's going to be no problem with that narrowing because there's enough space. But an impingement occurs when that space is decreased. And so there can be many reasons why this happens. And, there could be a bone spur that's decreasing that space, but most often it's actually due to swelling or inflammation. So this is something that we can take care of, especially before it turns into something much bigger. So basically, I think the common problem with something like this is the pain usually starts fairly mild with shoulder pain, and it's easy to ignore or put off doing anything about it until it becomes much worse. And that's going to be when you've lost some of your range of motion, or even if you have difficulty doing anything behind your back, like doing up your bra or a zipper, or even sometimes putting a coat on, when that starts to cause pain and you realize you're limited in what you can do, that's generally a surefire way that you should be taking care of it right now. But for those of you who are feeling that shoulder pain and you're still in that mild phase, let's take care of it before it turns into anything more serious. Because what can happen with that pressure, basically that impingement I was talking about, your acromion is rubbing on either your tendon or your bursa. So that is what can actually lead to further injury, and it will take you out for longer. So I wanted to show you a few ways today to make sure that we take care of this and how to fix this. So those of you who are feeling shoulder pain, first and foremost, when things are brand new and really strong, the best thing you can do right away is rest and ice. So the ice is going to help take away that inflammation, and of course giving a little bit of rest just to help things sort of settle down before you really start doing much to it. And first things before I want you to do a little test with me. So I want you to stand up, and I want you to close your eyes, and you're just going to sort of swing your arms and your hips, because I want you to stop and I want you to stand in your most sort of natural standing position. Okay? So from here, open your eyes. Now look down at your hands. If you have good posture, your thumbs should be pointed forward. Okay? If when you stopped, your thumbs were pointed in like this, that is sort of that first sign that you do have a forward rotated posture, and that is also a big reason why you're feeling some of that shoulder pain and some of that narrowness in that joint. So that forward rotated position is one of the big things that we want to fix and change right away. So number one, the first thing that I want you to do, even if you aren't rotated forward, but you are feeling that shoulder pain, okay, there's going to be some weaknesses and imbalances. So you're going to start with shoulder blade squeezes. So basically what I want you doing is shoulder blades are going down and back, okay, and you're squeezing those shoulder blades. You're going to hold this for anywhere from 3 to 5 seconds, release, and I want you to do this 5 times. So now this is something that you should be doing every hour. Set a reminder on your phone, put a sticky note on your computer so that you are doing 5 reps of this all throughout the day, because what we're trying to do is build that connection between your brain and those muscles to help bring your shoulder blades back into a better position. Already you can see that takes some of that stress off of that front part of the joint that may be there when you're rotated forwards. Next up is you're going to want to stretch your levator scap muscle, which is this guy back here. So to do this, you want to turn your head 45 degrees. Okay, make sure your shoulders are down and back. And then from here, drop your chin. So I'm on that 45 degree, dropping my chin. I'm going to take the same hand of the side that my chin is turned, and I'm going to grab the back of my head. So right now my bun is in the way. So I'm going to just sort of spread my fingers, but basically you're not grabbing the side or the front. You're trying to grab the back of your head right where my bun is to pull, add a little bit of tension there. You're going to feel that nice big stretch here. You're not trying to be aggressive with this one. It's a gentle pressure. And I want you to hold this for anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds. You're going to do that each side 3 times. All right. Moving into your chest, okay, that's another area that's going to be tight, pulling you forward. So my favorite chest stretch is either against a wall or in a doorway. And ideally you want to have your arm up at 45-degree angles. But if that impingement or that pain is too great to get it up to 45, you can do this one with your elbow at 90 degrees, just straight out from your shoulder to take some of that stress out. So either 45 up here or bent at 90, you're going to take your inside leg and you're going to step through so that you're turning away from the wall. I'm turning that inside hip away from the wall. Try to press your hand into the wall or into that doorway, and you're going to feel a nice big stretch through your chest. It allows for a big long line down that diagonal. If you're doing it with that bent elbow, I still like to either push my hand into the wall or have it behind a doorway, and it's the exact same motion here. So I'm twisting away to get that stretch through my chest. So with this one as well, I do want you to hold that for 15 to 30 seconds and try to do this 3 times on each side. Your final muscle that we are going to stretch is your lat, because a lot of times people forget that this also attaches to that shoulder blade. So my favorite lat stretch happens in our quadruped position, so on all fours. You're going to start with your knees bent, hands below your shoulders. And what I'm going to have you do, we're going to stretch our right side here. So I'm going to take my right hand and I'm actually going to put it underneath my left hand. Okay, so both my right and my left hand are right in line with that left knee. And I'm going to press my hands into the floor as I sit back. So I'm sitting back almost like I'm pushing my bum towards my right ankle. The more you push into the ground, the more you're going to feel that stretch through that lat. And again, holding this one in that 15 to 30 second range each side, and try to do that again 3 times so that you're getting that stretch, switching sides, and so you're getting a little bit of stretch and relax while you're going through this. And from here, I'm going to move into just a couple sort of strengthening and activation exercises. So many of you guys have seen this before, but it's really important that you do this mindfully and not rushing through it. And it's working on internal and external rotation of that shoulder. So the biggest cue that I'm going to have you add is a hand towel rolled up. Okay, it doesn't have to be hand. Whatever you want. You just need a little bit of a towel rolled, because I'm going to hold this in between my elbow and my side to make sure that I'm holding the position that I need to be to do this exercise. So I have my band hooked up right here. You can do this standing. I'm just going to do it from my knees so that I can stay in the screen here. So biggest thing you need to do, this one is going to be internal rotation because I'm going to pull the band in across my body. So my elbow is holding that towel roll right against my body. My shoulder blades are down and back, and I'm going to rotate that hand in without letting anything else move. And so this towel is here. It helps keep your elbow a tiny bit out from your side, but not too far out so that you are still using the proper rotator cuff muscles. So with this one, you may want to start on the lower side and maybe just do 10 reps each arm, but this is something that eventually you do want to build up to being able to do maybe 20 or 25 per side. You're going to switch to an external rotation, and I'm just going to switch arms to make it easier. So I'm pulling across my body. Now, I am using a band that is, in my opinion, probably too heavy for even myself to do external rotation with, because see, it's doubled up as I have it around this post. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move closer so that the bottom part has slack. So I'm really only using one strand of this band. If you have a regular resistance band, that's perfect. This should really be a lighter band because this is the really important one, that posture matters. I'm holding that towel in between my elbow and my body. Elbow is at 90 degrees, shoulder blade is down and back, and I'm going to pull out against that resistance. Now this is the one that your elbow will want to raise up and you'll lose that towel. So this is perfect feedback to know that you are keeping your body in that position, shoulder blade is still down, and you're really strengthening the rotator cuff muscles, not the big shoulder muscles. The final exercise that I'm going to leave you with for today is a pull down. So you're going to want to use, you can use a countertop or the back of a chair. I'm going to use a foam roller, whoops, because it's right here. And I'm going to have you start with your hand on top of either the back of a chair or a counter. And with this one, the key is that you need to press down into whatever surface you're using the entire time. So I'm pushing my hand down into this roller and I'm going to walk out, okay? There will be a point, depending on how limited your range of motion is, that you may not be able to walk out quite so far, and that's okay. But I am engaging these muscles here, so mostly these lats, it's stabilizing that shoulder blade. I'm creating space in that joint. I'm continuing to push down, and I'm going to walk back in. So again, I'm walking out while I push down, so those muscles are engaged. I'm creating space through that joint and walking in. With this one, I want you to do 5 reps on each side, making sure that that pressure stays there so those muscles are being activated in a really safe range, so that when it comes to doing the exercises, the bigger strength training exercises that you want to do, you have the strength and stability in that shoulder joint and your body knows how to activate them, and you can continue doing exactly what you want to do and reaching those fitness goals. So I hope this helps those of you that are feeling that shoulder pain. Take time every day to make sure that you're doing these exercises to really fix this before it turns into something that takes you out. So let me know if you do have any questions, and I will see you all on the internet. Take care.